Hi, my name is Susan Grace and welcome to this episode of A Woman's Journal. Before we even get into the agenda of this video, I just want to appreciate each and every person who has subscribed to our channel. Naona mmekuja kukuja. You guys are doing the most. Thank you so much for also following us on our social media handles. I have seen your emails, to which I've responded to most of them. Thank you so much for even the support that you show us and the work that we do here on this podcast. Now, let me ask you a quick question. When you hear the word cancer, what comes to mind? Let me guess. Death. And I guess most of us always assume that cancer automatically means that someone is going to pass away. But my guest today is redefining that. And she's actually told us cancer is not a death sentence. In fact, she said cancer is just a word, not a sentence, And on this episode, we get to unpack her journey from when she learned she had cancer when she was diagnosed and how she got to a place of acceptance and how she has learned to just, live with the situation. And to each and every person who is struggling with cancer or has been diagnosed with cancer, I hope that this episode will give you some motivation to keep going because it is one to look out for. My name is Susan Grace and welcome to this episode of A Woman's Journal. It's another day, another episode here with Susan Grace. I hope your day is coming along very well. The guest that I have today, I just love her so far because it's just been vibes and inshallah. Hello, darling.
Hi, Susan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
I feel like we've chaptered stories, but it feels like, now we are actually now starting the interview.
I know. I need to be serious.
No, girl, please. You see that we are talking throughout?
Yes.
That's what we want here.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Welcome to my podcast.
Thank you, Susan.
For the person who's seen you for the first time, who is Evalyn?
I'm Evalyn Allela.
Mm-hmm.
Mother, a wife, a sister, a friend, a pharmacist by training, and I'm a breast cancer survivor, thriver, breast health educator, and breast cancer advocate.
Mm-hmm. So now, 2020, that's when you got diagnosed with cancer. Mm-hmm. Walk us through that moment.
So I discovered a lump actually in 2019, December, but a lot was going on, so I never took time to go to the hospital. And I kept on checking, hoping that one day I won't find it. Mm-hmm. Eventually, I went to the hospital, and the doctor checked it. We talked about my family history, my medical history, and she assured me that most lumps are not cancerous. Mm-hmm. Maybe 1 to 2 out of 10 end up being cancer. So I was holding on to that hope that once we do all the tests, I'll be told, it's just something, let's just take it out and you go home and continue living happily ever after. Mm-hmm. So the first test she sent me for was a mammogram. Then the mammogram showed that, there could be something going on there. Mm-hmm. Then second was an ultrasound. The results called it a suspicious mass. So then the third test was a biopsy to remove some cells and now just have a look and see what's going on. When the results came, it was confirmed that the lump was cancerous. The news broke me because the first thing I thought was death. And because I don't think I knew anyone who had survived for long with cancer. Mm-hmm. The few I knew, had battled for a couple of years and passed on. So I thought, I'm getting into that train. So it's just a matter of time. So she gave me my treatment plan and took me to another series of tests to check if the cancer is anywhere else beyond the breast. Yeah. Fortunately, it was confined to the breast only. The first treatment I had was a surgery to remove the lump. It was successful. Then I was given 6 weeks to recover, then start chemo. Chemo was for 6 months. I was going for my treatment every 3 weeks.
6 months?
Yes, 6 months. I had 8 cycles. 8 cycles every 3 weeks. That was, it was quite a journey because chemo takes a toll on someone. Exhausting, fatigue, unexplained pains, headache, the jaw is paining, the neck is paining, the knees are paining, bones are paining, and of course the obvious one, hair loss, which I didn't expect it to affect me so much.
Yeah.
But it's one of the things that really affected me. I first lost the hair on my head. I had nice long natural hair, about shoulder length. Then it all fell off. I started.
All of it?
Yes, it started falling off in chunks.
Yeah.
Then I had it shaved off completely. Then I started putting on hats and scarves and wigs. Then my eyebrows fell off. My eyelashes fell off. It was not. I didn't like how I looked.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about it. We ladies, we're very keen on our hair.
Yes.
The eyebrows, the lashes. We want to, and that's the part that is, heavily being affected by the cancer.
Yes, and on top of that, my face was puffy from some of the treatments that I was having. So the face is swollen, no eyebrows, no eyelashes. I think that's when it hit me that, hey, this is really cancer, because I looked at myself in the mirror and I'm like, who is that? But I took it with my stride. I became a professional artist of eyebrows. So
it left you no choice.
No choice at all, because I was working also.
Yeah.
So I couldn't go to work with that bare face. So I perfected the art of drawing my eyebrows, and I started using liquid eyeliner just to give my eyes some
color and
some definition.
Life.
Yeah, because you can imagine the eyes without eyelashes. So I can't even explain what it looks like, but it doesn't look nice at all. So I perfected that art of, just drawing my eyebrows and doing my eyeliner, and my favorite red lipstick was always on point. So it would not be easy for somebody who doesn't really know me to see that there was something different with my appearance, but some keen people could tell. Then I finished chemo in December of 2021. Then asked my doctor for a treatment vacation because I was meant to start radio. And I told her, can I take a break and come back in January?
Oh, that is a treatment vacation. It's like a break from the treatment.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you wanted treatment while on vacation.
No. I wanted a break from the treatment.
Right.
So, in fact, she laughed and she's like, all my patients are asking for a break. I told her, Aki, we just need to go for Christmas because radiation is every day. And it's Christmas. It's been a tough year. I finished chemo. At least I want to have a little bit of...
the vacation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So she agreed and said, all right, okay, fine, and come back. But come back on the first week of January. She gave me a return date. So at least I had my vacation from the treatment, enjoyed Christmas with family and friends and all my loved ones. Then 2021 January, went back and started radio. I was on 20 cycles. So every day for 4 weeks. So every morning I would go, have my radio, and then carry on with my day, maybe go to work or do my thing. I completed it. It was uneventful. I used to feel very sleepy.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that radio does to people. Fatigue and a little bit sleepy. In some patients, it burns the skin. Fortunately for me, it wasn't that. I didn't burn. The skin darkened, eventually got dry and peeled off. I managed it with a lot of moisturizing. After every radio, I would really, really moisturize. And so that was it. So in mid of Feb 2021, that was, I completed my treatment.
The radio now.
Yes, so now, from that time now, I've just been on review. The first 2 years, I was going every 3 months. So they'll do some blood tests, just talk to me how I'm doing and check my breast, and I'm sent for scans sometimes. Now I'm going every 6 months. So for me, I have to be keen on my reviews, because the type of breast cancer I had is aggressive and has a very high rate of recurrence. Yes. So I see my doctor whenever I need to, and I'm sticking to my scans. And also that type of cancer, usually if in some cases the patient is put on some treatment after, but for mine, I believe it was early stage, so I'm not on any medication at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And I think normally when we hear about breast cancer, there's always the risk for the breast pain. taken off. Did
Yes.
you have that fear it's going to get there?
So my surgery, for my surgery, they removed the lump only. However, my doctor has recommended to have the breast removed because, again, of the type of cancer that I have. So one of the risk reduction measures they recommend is to have a double mastectomy, just to help lower
The
that
chances
risk.
of recurrence.
Yes.
My
I'm still
goodness.
thinking about it, though. You know,
Yeah.
it's a big decision to make.
It is.
Yeah, just having both of the breasts cut off.
Yeah.
It's not an easy decision to make. So when I'm ready.
Yeah. Let's look at life before 2020. First of all, you're diagnosed in the midst of a pandemic.
Yes.
Did that even affect you more because we're here fighting corona, then boom, breast cancer? What was that like for you?
I would take it was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Because one, people were working from home. So I was able to work around it. And then secondly, during chemo, the patients are immunocompromised because of the treatment. So it means there's a very high risk of getting infections. So during that time, one, I was at home most of the time, and two, people were wearing masks, sanitizing and washing their hands all the time. Movement was restricted, so I was not exposed to so many people.
Right.
So
okay.
that worked for me.
Yeah.
Yes, it
A
worked for
blessing in
me. But also
disguise.
now there's that risk of you're immunocompromised. In case you get COVID, I mean, it's going to go down really bad. But
Yeah.
fortunately, everybody around me was really careful. Even the family and friends who came to visit, there was a sanitizer at the door. Even my friends would like, please, I'll put on 3 masks. Let me just come and see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, it worked in terms of I had that extra protection as opposed to somebody who is going through that now when we are all free and sneezing and coughing all over and just washing our hands when necessary.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for me, it worked in that way.
Interesting. Yeah, I wanted us to look at life before 2020, before cancer came
Yes.
knocking at your door. Are there things that you miss? Because right now you're talking about how every 6 months you have to go in for a checkup.
Yeah.
You're now constantly thinking about if you want to consider the double mastectomy. I'm sure those are things you were not thinking about before
Not at
2020. What do you miss most about life before cancer?
What I miss most is my fitness. I was something short of a fitness freak. I exercised a lot. I watched what I eat. I still do. And even when I was diagnosed, some of my friends were like, "But you're the healthiest of the bunch." I mean, so how is it that it's you that this thing has gotten? And now this actually made me understand that cancer has no formula. Your body can be the temple of the Lord. You know, you are doing yoga, you are hiking,
You're hydrating, taking your greens.
Maybe even a vegetarian, no meat, because they say also, red meat increases the risk. Sugar increases the risk. There are people who have never even consumed
healthy life.
Because I have met virtually, though, because I'm in a couple of support groups with the women in the States. And there are women who were like, I have never consumed alcohol. I can't remember the last time I had sugar. I'm a vegetarian. I hike. I'm fit. I work out 5 times a week. And they've been healthy all their lives. And then suddenly at 62, 63, 64, boom, it checks in. So you're like, what else could I have done?
Yeah.
And so we have come to understand that some of these things, you just take them in moderation. If it's sugar, our body needs sugar. I know we get sugar in many forms from fruits, from, different kinds of food. And I cannot take tea without sugar. So I like to enjoy my cup of tea with a little sugar. So at least I will take it because I will not torture myself.
To deprive yourself of
yes,
things.
through going through tea that I'm not enjoying. I might not just have it, all together. So I miss that fitness, and so now I have energy dips, very very heavy energy dips, and living with the anxiety of a recurrence.
Right.
Those are things I never bothered about.
Yeah.
So. And the anxiety of recurrence is something that many survivors live with, because whenever you have a cough, you'll just think, maybe I have a flu, or
Or for you, is that the cancer?
Yes, is it coming back to my lungs? When you have a headache, is it coming back to the brain? When you have a backache, is it coming back to the bones? So there is that fear that survivors live with of recurrence, because many have been lucky and have lived very many years, 10, 15, 20 without a recurrence. And in the same breath, so many who have had recurrence after 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So those things are happening a lot, and they really weigh down on our mental health, especially.
And I actually wanted to talk about that. How did this affect your mental health? Because I've spoken with some people, like you said, the minute you hear cancer, you feel like it's a death sentence. And there are people who feel like, you know what, I'm not going to wait for death to come looking for me.
Yes.
I'm going to, sort of meet it halfway,
Yeah.
Did you ever get to a point where you struggled with, maybe thoughts of being suicidal?
No.
Yeah.
I really was focused on fighting this because I thought about my mother, my son, my husband. I was just in a new relationship.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, everything is going on so well. And then what the hell is this, coming at this point when I was on a high. And I was surrounded by so much love, and that gave me the will to keep going, and to fight and to recover, and just continue to enjoy this thing called life.
Yeah. I mean, what else can we do? Right?
Yes.
Early on, I think I was telling you how I lost my mom. And what I didn't tell you is one of the things that I really could not understand is God. Why? Like, of all people. Did you get to a point where you questioned God? You're like ini mbona mimi?
Yes. So there's a very strong history of cancer in my family. My paternal side, my grandmother, his mother had breast cancer. Then my father died cancer of the liver. Then his brother got breast cancer. I know many people get surprised
when they hear men and breast cancer.
Yes, men and breast cancer. And then my cousin, same side, got breast cancer. And she passed on after 5 years. It came back after 5 years, and the Mets. She did make it. Then I got breast cancer. I think before that another cousin got throat cancer. Then after me, another cousin got breast cancer. So in 2021, I was sent to do a genetic test, and I was found to have something called breast cancer mutation BRCA1, and this means that the gene is in my family. So what that means is my relatives now from that side of the family are at risk, but you may not get it, because our family, we are like hundreds of people, but it's just it's a lot to hear that 6-7 people from one family
have passed away or have been affected by cancer.
So what it means is that they have to be extra careful with the screening for my sisters, and for the men as well, to be keen on their prostate screening, and just to try and live a balanced life, to try and lower the modifiable risks that you can, because some and also it say that up to 10 to 15 of cancers are the ones that have a genetic link. So 85 to 90, nobody knows where they come from. So it doesn't mean that for those who don't have the mutation, there is no risk. So, I mean, cancer is crazy like that. You don't even understand why, who, where, how.
So now I'm curious. Is it a test that someone can just go and do to find out if there's a possibility of cancer being in their family, or you have to be recommended by a doctor?
Ideally, recommended if maybe a relative gets cancer. And for me, especially the type of cancer that I had, and because of the history that we discussed with the doctor, my relatives having it, they recommended it. There are cancers that usually they do not even send you for that genetic test. So they link it to a predisposition or looking at your family history.
Interesting. How did you build back your confidence? Because as you're talking, I'm trying to imagine no hair, no eyebrows, no lashes. The meds are making you feel puffed up, and that really messes up with our confidence, especially as ladies.
Yeah.
How did you rebuild the confidence?
The beauty about, it's not beauty, there's nothing beautiful about cancer anyway. So, once the treatment is over, the body recovers. So my hair started growing back even before on the last month of chemo, my hair started growing back slowly. So when I had a little hair, then now I started, I stopped covering up my head, my eyebrows. By December, my eyebrows had come back, the lashes had come back. So the puffiness had reduced. So I was slowly getting back to my usual appearance. So I think it's just saying I'm back to me, and I have to go on with life.
And how did your kid take it? How did you break the news, by the way, to your son that cancer is here?
So my son was he was locked out
of town.
Not even out. He was out of the country. He was in Tanzania during when COVID hit. So when I was diagnosed, he was not here. So he eventually managed to come back in August when things eased up a little bit. And we went with them so my husband sat down the children and told them, mom has cancer. I hadn't told my son. So we went I eventually told him one day, we are sitting under a tree. We went to Shags, and I told him, I asked him, what do you know about cancer? And he told me that it's a serious illness, but if it's caught early, it is treatable.
Managed,
I was like, oh my gosh. Then I told him, so I have cancer, and it was caught early, and I'm on treatment, so I'm going to be okay. Then he's like, okay. Then I told him, so I've lost my hair. Then I asked him, do you want to see? Then he said, no. And I don't think he ever saw me like face to face. Because from the time he was little, he liked my hair. So when like I would just be sitting, he would come and just start playing around with my hair. So I think for him it was, let me just have that image that I've always known of mom. So when we came back to Nairobi, we took them along for one of my chemo treatments, and they took me, they walked with me to the room, and they saw me being settled down and everything. Like, so this is where I come, and this is what they do. Just explain to them so that they could just know what was going on. They were very helpful at the time. They were good kids, taking care of me. So they took it pretty well.
What about the girl?
Same. She was younger at the time. She was still young, but she also took it very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you must have been nervous at first before.
Yes, I was. I was like, oh my gosh, how much do they know
about cancer?
Yes, because even before now I started reading up on it. I knew that people die, and you've watched movies about cancer patients, and it always ends up with death. None of them. I don't think there's a cancer movie.
Movies should start doing movies where a cancer patient actually survives.
Yes, because all of them die. You see them struggling. You see them wasting away and growing thin and
taking their last breath. In and out
of hospital, and then they eventually die. So for me, that is what the image I had of cancer. And of course, because my father didn't make it, so I knew, he dies.
To all the movie directors watching out there, please feel free to consult us.
Yes,
because it's something important you've highlighted, because movies really play a major role in the way we perceive things. And I've never actually seen a story where a cancer patient survives. They survive for like 2 minutes.
Yes.
And then it now comes back. And nakuja kama imepita na wao. And that's scary. We also need to push the agenda of people can actually fight and survive cancer. There's something you mentioned about support that you received. You received a lot of great support.
Absolutely.
Because I think I've spoken to a lady previously who said her friends vanished. She just felt so alone. And she was saying, by this, support plays a major role. Do you agree?
A big role. And for me, despite COVID, there are people who insisted, I have to come and see you. I have some friends who came all the way from Mombasa. And I didn't even know they were around. So one day I'm just chilling in the house, and my husband knew they were coming. So the door, somebody knocks, and when I go open, I find 3 ladies in matching deras. I know they'd even come with food. They came with biryani, they came with pilau, they came with mahamri, viazi karai, you know. And we just
me with your friend.
Yeah, we had a lovely afternoon. We had a good laugh. I have friends who would just come. They go to the market and say, "Are you home Saturday afternoon? We are coming to see you." You know, they'll come from soko, mboga, nini. They'll wash the mbogas, everything, and just stock for me.
Wow.
They would come and cook for me. My sister literally moved into my house, so she would be there like almost every day. You know, just making sure that my children are okay, I'm okay. And I think she was also my mom's eyes, because my mom couldn't travel because of COVID.
Yeah.
So when I would talk to my mom, I'd tell her, yeah, I'm fine, you know, nini. Then, so later on, my sister is telling me, my mom would call her and she's like, how is she? Are you sure? When did you go and see her today? And then you tell me how she is. Yeah, so yeah, my family and my friends really came through for me. You know, sometimes even just somebody sending a bouquet of flowers and a card, it means so much. It means a lot.
Yeah.
Just to know that somebody somewhere is thinking about you and you know, and wishing you well.
Yeah. What was your rock bottom moment in all this? Like the moment where you were at your lowest and you're just very, very low.
I think for me, it's the first time I looked at myself in the mirror and no hair. I think I was avoiding the mirror. So I don't know what sent me to the mirror that day. And I just stood in front of the mirror and I looked at myself and I was like, I really have cancer. This was like, you know, a few, maybe 2 or 3 chemo sessions later. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I really have cancer. And I broke down. I never wanted to show, you know, my family, my kids. Yeah. So there are times when I would just go to bed and cry in bed. Yeah. You know, I just said I need to rest. I need to go and take a nap. So I think that time was when I was like, wait, this thing is actually happening. Yeah. And many times I used to pinch myself and I'm like, is this real that I have cancer? For the longest time, I think I was living in denial, yet I was going through it. Yeah.
How did you come from denial to acceptance finally?
So the support groups that I was in, amazing women. And they would talk about their experiences positively and with a lot of humor. And when somebody was down, you'd go, it was a Facebook group. And you just go and post and say, today I'm feeling this sort of way. And outpouring of love from this patients and survivors from strangers. It was amazing. And you know, sometimes when I couldn't sleep at night because I went into temporary menopause because of the chemo. So I used to get bad hot flashes. So I can't even sleep at night. So I'll just take my phone and, you know, go into those groups because now see the Americans are awake, they're active. And, you know, say, you guys, I'm feeling this. And everybody would come and chime in and say, don't worry, you know, do this. You can, you know, get a fan. Then they're like, oh, you know, you remove one leg from the sheet, then you start feeling cold, you cover again. It's hot. Yeah, it's hot and cold. Yeah. So whatever side effect, whatever feeling I had, I would go in there and, you know, you'll find a solution. You'll find somebody else going through and they give you the tips and the hacks that they're using to manage and to go through.
Yeah. You know, as you're saying this, I'm thinking, you know, as much as we say social media imekuja imetuharibu, there's a good side of it.
Actually, for me, social media played a major role. Yeah. Because when I was diagnosed, I actually did go, you know, nowadays, the first place you go to is social media. Yes. Google and social media. So I went to Facebook. As you know, we are a Facebook generation. Looking for...
I'm also there. I'm one of those millennials.
My children say Facebook is for old people. I'm like, yeah, Mama.
I mean, tumekubali.
Yeah. So I went and, you know, I was looking for breast cancer support group. And I found one, a Kenyan one. And it was sad. Because everybody there was low. You know, people are saying, I don't have food. I can't go to hospital. I need this, I need that. In fact, there's a time a lady posted there, she was in stage 4 of, I can't remember which cancer. And she said she can't eat, she needs a blender. And I posted there and I said, DM me your number, I'll get you a blender. And she didn't. So she eventually passed on. And about 2 weeks later, and these are all strangers. I was like, I'll help you. You know, I can get her a blender.
Yeah.
Somebody comes into my inbox and says, that blender you wanted to give that lady, you know, she died. Can you give it to me? I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So it was, I was sinking deeper, you know, into depression because of being in that space. And I said, let me go and this other group where it's positive vibes.
A bit more, yeah.
Yeah, and we are helping each other. We are building each other. So when I finished my treatment, when I finished chemo, that's when I did a post on Facebook. And I had a t-shirt, you know, last day. Those are things I learned from those foreign people. But them, it is a big deal. Last day of chemo, the whole village is out of the hospital waiting for you, you know, with balloons and pink and placards and whatnot. And I'm like, wow, this is what it should be. So I did a t-shirt. I copied a style from one of them, last day of chemo. And we had cake at the hospital with the nurses and then the unit. Then I had another cake at home. So I posted those photos on Facebook. And that is when people were like, oh, you mean? You've just been laughing here. We're at COVID jokes. Kumbe, this is what you've been going through. So many people who are not very close to me were shocked because I had shared it with just the ones that
are very close.
Yes. Yeah. People were shocked and were like, you never told me, and now it was now a marathon. I need to come and see you, I need to come and see you, I need to come and see you. So even after that, my friends really worked with me. And because of that, I said, I'm going to start sharing my story on social media.
Love that.
So that if another Kenyan lady Googles breast cancer in Kenya, I hope the algorithms send them to my Facebook or my Instagram so that they can actually see that there's somebody out here who is talking and you know, you can call me and we just talk. Yeah. And that has actually led many people to me because friends call me and tell me, I know somebody who's been diagnosed with cancer. Can you talk to them? I'm like, yeah, just give them my number. So I somehow paying it back. Yeah. And I'm working with many patients. You know, sometimes just being there for them. And when they need somebody to talk to, when they're like, I'm feeling this, did you feel this? What did you do? You know, and sometimes even linking them up to other people who can help them with different things. So that is why I started posting on social media because I wanted somebody after me to find what I didn't find.
Right. I love that. You know, as you're talking about the support, I've picked up on something that sometimes you need to be very intentional about the support that you get because there's a difference between a support system and people who camp in your misery with you because you're in this group where people are so it's a bit of misery. Then there's this other one of this is your last day of chemo, let's celebrate it, you know. So I like that even as you're looking for a support group and a support system, let it be people who help you get back up.
Absolutely.
Not people of tukowengi, you know, that vibe.
But fortunately now, the cancer space has really evolved. In just these 4 years, there are a lot of amazing groups right now. I've met such amazing people. There are very many survivors who have now become advocates and educators. I'm like on Thursday, we had an event and it was a beauty pageant. And the models were breast cancer survivors. Yeah. It was beautiful. We had a beautiful day. It was just enjoyment. Yeah. Yeah. No, at his story. Arrived at the hotel in the morning, had a breakfast, panel discussions, tea, modeling, panel discussions, you know, just looking for solutions and sharing the challenges. But all in all, it was a happy moment. Very many support groups were represented there. Their members were there. So we have come a long way and we are heading to a great place for survivors. Yeah,
I see it. I love that people are very vocal about it. And also, you remember Kitambo, there's a way HIV used to be stigmatized. But now we've gotten to a place where we've accepted and we're like, okay, it's here. Let's find solutions. And I feel like the same is happening with cancer. It is. Where people are warming up to it and they're like, we don't need to allow it to hold us hostage and make us feel like it's a death sentence.
And you know, this happens when patients are empowered. Because now patient survivors are speaking out and now the whole world knows that we don't all die. We live, we struggle with a few things here and there. We know the pain points. So if it is a policymakers, listen to us. We will tell you something that can help, drive the policy that works for patients. But patients are really standing out now to speak out. And there's also a lot of organizations that are empowering patients and survivors. I have been trained by 2. There is one, so when I was looking for resources, I found one called A Fresh Chapter. And I went through their website, and there was something about a program. It's a 10-week program to build resilience and to navigate life after cancer. And they said the next intake is, I think it was in 2021, around Jan, Feb, thereabout. And I saved it in my calendar that I'm going to apply to join this program. So when the date came, I filled the forms, submitted them, and then I was called. They do like an interview just to see where you are mentally, if you can go through that program, because they don't do it with patients who are in treatment. They do it with after treatment, when you finish dealing with the heavy part. So I was taken in for Ignite. I did the Ignite program. It was amazing. We were equipped with tools and skills, like you learn about emotional awareness, vulnerability, balancing dark and light. That is now our emotions, the good and the bad, holding space. And so eventually we even taught how to speak, how to tell our stories. So it was, so I think that is when I'm saying, I think I drew this that you asked me from that. And eventually when I finished the Ignite program, I was trained, I became a facilitator. So I helped to facilitate other Ignite sessions. Lovely. So they're really building. So A Fresh Chapter is doing amazing. We had a summit for 2 days last month, and survivors came together, and we had some sessions, just learning some of these things. So that has, so you'll find patients talking with a lot of authority because of such things. Then there is another one, American, called Tiger Lily Foundation. I did a program called Angel Advocates. So they teach you also how to advocate for yourself and for others. You learn how to speak, you learn, what to look for, and they have different programs that empower you to do different things around that advocacy space. And there are many others that, so...
The list is endless.
Yes, the list is, there are people out there who are doing amazing things to empower patients and survivors. So this is it's a new patient out there. So that one...
No.
We are woke.
Ooh, I love that. Did you say this on camera, vintage buddy? Did you say it on camera?
No, I didn't say it. It was when we were...
We're talking about, I think we're taking pictures, then we just do this default thing.
I told you,
I'm like, no, me, I'm a vintage buddy. I'm like, girl, I'm sorry. I love that. So now when you look back at 2020, when the news was broken to you and what you know now, and maybe how you've managed to empower yourself, what do you wish someone told you back then to keep you strong and empowered?
It's really serious. And I wish... I know my doctors were really comforting and encouraging. And I thought, and everybody does think that the cancer story ends when you finish treatment, but it just begins afresh. Like now when you're living with anxiety, you still have to go for treatment. And for checkups. And there are patients who still have to be on medication for even 5 years post that. So I don't know, people talk about it and say that it doesn't end at the end of treatment. But, I wish I knew that, because in my mind, I knew that it's going to be 1 year intense and then back to who I was. But now I've learned, and now it's daily journey, just dealing with the different madness that comes with it.
And now you'd say you're fully accepted, like you're in a place of full acceptance,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's lovely. I'm thinking of that cancer patient who's probably watching us today, that lady who, I don't know if I should be asking you this or a medical expert, how do you know which lamp is the lamp?
You do not know which lamp is the lamp. And another thing I do on social media, every first or second day of the month, in fact, on that one, I need to do my November post. I do something, and many survivors do it. It's a campaign called Feel Them on the First. So we encourage women to check their breasts every month. So if you check your breasts every month, you will know the normal. So you'll know that this is how my breasts are. There's no lump, there's nothing. So one day when you're doing your monthly breast check,
and you
feel
notice something unusual,
just go to hospital.
Okay.
Yes, and have them check it and rule out or confirm whatever it is. You can't tell even the doctor by touching, they'll feel a lump, they will not know until they investigate it
So there
further.
needs to be a consistency until you notice an abnormality.
Yes, so know you're normal. And like I said earlier, do not panic when you find a lump because chances are it's just maybe
it's not cancerous.
It's not cancerous. So, and the best way to confirm is to take it to the hospital.
I think there's a time I was doing an interview with an oncologist. Even when there are free screenings being announced, people don't want to go because there's always that fear of, so far I don't have cancer.
Yes.
So where if I go? Then they tell me,
yes. And then they say, afadhali, I don't know. But you see, the breast cancer is one of the cancers that can be detected early.
And managed early.
Yes, and early detection improves the outcomes. The prognosis is better, and the treatment may not be as intense as if it is caught later. So you're better off knowing than sitting there one day, and then when you check in the hospital, you're told you have stage 4 or you have stage 3B or something of the sort. So it's best to know early. I know everybody's like,
they say, what you're looking for?
That thing you're looking for every month, sijui ati kuna screening wapi ushakimbia, sijui kuna screening hospitali gani ushakimbia. Just
what you're looking for, you'll find.
Yes, you'll find it eventually.
Okay, to be honest, I'm also guilty of that. Like when I see those screenings, I'm like, I'm still too young.
So imagine just to know you're normal. Just do yourself. There are videos on YouTube where doctors explain how to do it. Yes. And also there is an amazing website called Know Your Lemons. It was started by, I think it's an organization now, by a cancer survivor. And it teaches about breasts in the simplest of language. They use a fruit. They say, if it's the size of a lemon seed, the size of a bean, this is what you check. And they've put like a whole tray of lemons saying, this is what to look for. There's a lump, the skin looks like this, the different things to look for. Very, very easy language. And then they'll even teach you how to check. It's called Know Your Lemons.
Oh, lemons. Okay. I might just go check it out today. You never know. Thank you for
yes, we have just finished the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I hope you checked. You just checked on your lemons.
I can explain.
Now, it will be an injustice if I leave without insisting. Just go check.
I will.
Shika, just touch yourself.
See if the lemons are okay.
Yes. Then, another interesting thing is that, and even from doctors, they say that a good number of lumps are found by partners.
Oh.
So your partner might know your lemons better than you know your lemons. So you also need to know your lemons.
This is a bachelor. Tuende kwa caretaker.
Caretaker si partner. Unajua partner sasa anajua the normal. So you also need to know your normal. So partner atakwambia siku moja, madam,
something
babe, what's this? So we also encourage men to help their
partner, their wives.
To do the check. And I also, for men, they're encouraged to be very keen on their breasts.
Chest area.
Their chest area. Because they may not have the fatty tissue that gives women the full breast that we have, but they have breast muscle. They're not flat, kama. There's something. So that is where the cancer.
My single people, please feel included. We can do this together. We just need to go to that website of Know Your Lemons. We don't have partners to help. But we have God by our side.
Hallelujah.
Even as we bring this to a close, I just want you to leave a word of encouragement to a cancer patient, someone who's probably still going through chemo or radio, or they're just in that space of maybe they just want to throw in the towel and just let cancer win. What do you want to tell them as you look at this camera?
Okay. The first one is, before diagnosis, everybody fears cancer. I just had this very fine line this weekend. I couldn't wait to use it. Cancer is not a sentence, it is a word. So if it is caught early, it is easier to treat it. It can be cured. So we encourage, number one, screening. Screening is so important because you catch it early, you treat it early. Then the second one, for those who are going through treatment, find a community. Very, very important. I had a lot of support from community of strangers, of friends, and this cancer journey I've met amazing people who are also survivors, some for very, very many years. So I know that there's hope, and I believe that even I will be around much, much longer talking about my story and giving hope and inspiration to other people. And for anybody who knows anybody who is going through cancer or cancer treatment, show them some love. Sometimes they just need that little word of encouragement. They just need you to send flowers or a basket of fruits or something, just check on them. And then this one we should have spoken before. There is a unsolicited advice.
Oh, let's unpack that. Umemaliza pattern shots.
Tutapat vizuri baadaye.
Yes, let's talk about that.
There are a lot of myths surrounding cancer. I think earlier you told me about somebody who doesn't take sugar.
Yes.
Sugar is okay in moderation. You can avoid the processed, like lots of candy and we have people. Some people have a sweet tooth, and I cannot enjoy my food if it's not sweet. So sugar is okay, but in moderation. Meat is a source of iron for the body. You need to eat some meat in your life. So the most important thing is to balance and have everything in moderation.
Yeah.
You can have a little bit more of the foods that are considered more healthy, like fruits and vegetables. Then sometimes we don't want that advice. We don't need that advice.
No.
Just come and sit with me and listen to me and tell me. And especially pumping somebody with advice that is not backed by any science or any experience. You sometimes will make even somebody feel guilty because I already have that cancer. When you start telling me sugar and I've been a sweet tooth all my life, I'll think that I'm the one who brought that cancer on me.
Upon yourself, yeah?
Yes, and those are the things we don't want to be dealing with at that point. So sometimes give advice that is right and that is helpful to the patient.
Okay. So tell us 2 things that we should not tell a cancer patient. Okay, maybe 3.
Oh, 1, I go visit someone who has cancer, and then I start telling them about my grandmother who also had cancer. Don't compare. I've come to see you. I'm dealing with you. So I don't start telling you about other people who died. It is good you can try telling maybe positive ones about people who survived.
Yes.
Yeah, but let's not start bringing in a lot of negativity to this space and pulling them lower. And people do a lot. Or they say, my auntie's friend had cancer and she ate these leaves, she drank this what. And I think also another thing is discouraging people from going for treatment. That happens a lot.
Really?
The people who stop treatment and go for herbals, they are told chemo will kill you.
So go for those leaves.
Yes. Go and drink. Sijui which leaves, boil them, go to sijui somebody in aka kijiji somewhere. He treated so and so. That patients have died because of that. And me who is telling you not to go for chemo, I've never had cancer.
I was going to say that. They have no experience with cancer.
Not even anybody close to me has had it. It's maybe a story I had, 3rd, 4th. Yeah.
4th, 5th.
I don't even know. I just had nearly scared too. Yeah. And I think the other one is during treatment, the patient is very sensitive and they're very fragile emotionally. So also be kind, especially with the way they look. Some put on a lot of weight, some lose weight. It's a struggle. So what I implore people to do is just be kind.
Yeah.
Just be kind.
Okay. So basically, number 1, please don't come comparing. Number 2, stop discouraging patients from going for the treatment because there's some to leaves. And also number 3, don't make comments about the change in someone's physical appearance, correct?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now let's part short as we actually part short.
Yeah. Just in addition to what I'd said earlier, visit them and support them and ask how I can help. Because I may come with thinking that this is what you need, yet that is not what will serve you at that particular point in time. So it is nice to, I know Africans, we are shy when you ask, what do you want? You say, no, it's okay, you can just bring anything. Say, even if it is money, if you don't have, it's okay.
It's true, because sometimes need it for treatment.
Exactly, they need it for treatment, or they're struggling with, buying maybe some specific foods that they need to pump up their diet.
Yeah.
So I think it's just to ask the patients what they need, how you can help them, how you can be of service to them, and meet them at their point of need.
Yeah. I'm so positive there's somebody who's watched this, they've watched this episode, they're like, oh, Evalyn, I'd like to connect with you. Like, you get me. How can people find you on social media?
On Instagram, is it Eva_Allela or Allela?
Tutaangalia, tutawekea hapa chini.
Yes!
We got you.
We have something called chemo brain. Sometimes we forget things.
It is
that chemo fried a few of our brain cells. Yeah, and then on Facebook is Yasmin Allela, and on LinkedIn it's Evalyn Allela.
Right. So that is EVALYN.
Correct.
And Allela has double L. So it's ALLELA.
You are brilliant.
I told you. This has been awesome. This has been fantastic. So as we conclude, I'm going to confess something to you. So when you came, I was so scared to, serve you juice, because I was like, it's going to come off as insensitive again, because someone I previously interacted with told me sugar is not good for cancer patients. So, karibu juice. Just like, we need to wrap it up.
Also, the throat is dry.
It's dry, eh? Sorry. I hope you have enjoyed the juice we have served on this podcast. See what I did there? Thank you so much for keeping us company. My name is Susan Grace. Kama kawaida, you can connect with us on our social media handles, and you can also connect with me directly at SusanGrace_KE. Kama kawaida, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss on any episodes we upload, and I'll see you in the next episode.